Mhm. Are we live? There we go, legends. Welcome to another live stream. What is happening here with the price of Bitcoin taking a nice little dump here to the downside? And dare I say, we as a community, okay, I think we were prepared for this dump. I did expect, and I will go through the analysis. We will do some technical analysis, and I will show you why we could potentially go and tap $79,000, right? And what needs to happen? Okay, I've got some alarms going off here. And what needs to happen for us not to tap that level and go and claim the all-time high once again? It's very important what's going to happen in this structure, this dump that we're seeing here to the downside, legends. But I hope we were prepared. Yesterday when I ended the live stream, we were pumping here to the upside, and I closed off the live stream by saying I do not like, okay, that we are pumping with high volume here to the upside, okay, which signifies to me that it could be a C wave here to the upside, and the dump can get very aggressive. Okay, so, and I told everyone I'm waiting for the dump, and I want to see the retracement that will tell me whether I need to short or whether I need to long. Okay, now the moment has come. We've received the first little leg here to the downside, the first dump here to the downside. Now, the most important part that we need to pay attention to is whenever we find the bottom down here, that retracement is going to give us the information that we need, whether we need to short to the downside or whether we should be looking for longs, okay, where we're not going to claim the low at $91,000 and we could potentially go back into price discovery. But $79,000 is on the cards, legends. It is on the cards. Right, legends, welcome to the live stream. Smash up the like if you haven't done so already. Remember the exchanges that I use where you get the biggest bonuses and lowest trading fees. The links are down in the description. Bluffin and Weeks, two of my favorite exchanges. Go sign up if you're not trading on those two exchanges just as yet. Let me say hi to the beautiful community. No financial advice, Mr. Mod. I see you in the house. Welcome. Thanks for joining the live stream. Guylian, hi Dewald, welcome. Like M on YouTube. Myro Coin, please. Yes, I mean, we're first going to focus and do a little bit of technical analysis here on the price of Bitcoin before we look at some altcoins. Ooh, and I mean the altcoins, double figure drops. AR 8%, say 7%, Solana 4%. Okay, there's some things that I want to discuss today, so stay tuned not to miss out on any alpha. Let's just see what does things look like over here. What does the world look like? Tara 14% down. Ooh, we've got some double digits. Fala Network 10% down. Ooh, single Veracity 10% down. It looks like from the list that I have over here, just trying to see that Doge Governor 17% down. Yeah, we have TIMA USDT. Someone asked me not so long ago to do analysis on TIMA. What is this? TIMA USDT 21% down. It's an absolute bloodbath at the moment for most of the favorite altcoins. And let's go and analyze the situation here together. Go through some technical analysis, and I will also share with you why what did I say? $79,000? $79,000? What did I say in the thumbnail? Was it $79,000? I can't remember. Let me just, sorry legends, let me just do this here quick. I forgot to open up a very important screen over here. So let me Right, there we go. Sorry, legends. Apologies. Let me just drag this over. Yeah. Close this tab. Right, $79,000. That's what I put in the thumbnail. I just need to make double sure before I say $71,000 over there. 79K. Yes, 79K. Right, legends. Is that target possible? Yes. Is that target a bullish target? Yes, so even the dump here to the downside could potentially be a great buying opportunity. Are we going to hit $79,000? I don't know, but I can show you why I am looking at $79,000. Right, okay, cool, legends. Let's get into the technical analysis. Let's just quickly say hi to the community. Frontier Pioneer, ek was bietjie onder water, a little bit underwater. Yes, I think, you know, some of my spot bags, my swing trades, everything is, you know, taken a little bit of a dump here to the downside. Most of them are still in profit. Even my swing trades, most of them are still in profits. Some of them, like 2 of them, are a little bit underwater. But I mean, I have clear invalidations. I've planned those trades. I'm not going to FOMO out. When my stop losses hits, it hits, right? I didn't trade with more than what I can afford to lose. And I will just look for new trading opportunities. Okay, legends. I mean, from a simplicity perspective, you know, connecting this low over here with this low over here, you can now see that we've lost the trend and we are struggling here by the trend, okay? And I think we're going to get that choppiness over here. I think we're going to start finding the bottom over here, maybe get that choppiness and start recovering here back to the upside. But then, are we going to make a lower high and continue the fall here to the downside? That is the question. That is the question, legends. Cool. Let me put the music a little bit soft over here because I see some people complain about the music. Some people like the music. I never, you know, it's difficult to make everyone happy here in the live stream. Jeffrey, let's go down to buy at the low. Yes, definitely. I remember you describing the exact scenario 2 days ago, Dewald. That's why I didn't panic buy when it broke above 100K. Yes, definitely. I also said I'm not buying. I don't know if it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I said in my live stream when we were pumping over here, I said I am not buying. I do not FOMO into trades. I'm waiting for the correction. I want to see the dump and I want to see how we are going to correct here to the upside, because this correction is going to give me potentially, hopefully, the information that I need, whether I need to short, okay, to come and take the lows, or whether I need to look for a lower high, a higher low for continuation back to the upside. That is now the conundrum that we sit with. So, legends, what I quickly want to do is just go through the scenario from an Elliott Wave perspective and also share with you what I shared with our Legends Pro community this morning. Okay. We can go through that. Right. This is basically the scenario that we were looking at. Okay. So, when I zoom out a little bit just to show everyone, this is the scenario that is potentially still on the cards. Okay. And then dump your legend, man, called it before it happened. Yes, I mean, it's just basically pure technical analysis. Mr. Crypto Big Brains, welcome to the live stream. We want that limbo low, right? Mr. Pac-Man, hello beautiful people, welcome to the live stream. Appreciate the support, all the mods in the house today, right? Everyone wants to know why $79,000. Why does Dewald have $79,000 on his thumbnail? And why is that potentially still a bullish target? Okay, so first, let's just analyze the local structure over here, and then I'll zoom out. I'll do it a little bit the other way around today. Usually, I first focus on the larger time frames, then I go into the smaller time frames. Let's just focus on the scenario over here. This morning, in our Legends Pro community, if you'd like to join our Legends Pro community, first link down in the description. We have a free section and a paid for section where myself and Andy provide daily technical analysis together with some other coaches that provide trading setups and loads and loads and loads of education. Okay, so legends, this structure here, okay, so still potentially looking at an A, B, okay, where we now got the top, and for a C wave here to the downside. And what will invalidate this scenario, okay, is for us to find a higher low and continue, okay? And it is the correction that's going to give us the clues whether we're continuing up or whether we're continuing down. But the one thing I do want to highlight, the one little clue, and you know, it's just a game of probabilities. One little clue is that when you have an impulse to the upside, when you have a 5-wave structure to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the most amount of volume is in your third wave. Okay, I wanted to say almost always in your third wave, but mostly in your third wave is the most amount of volume. Then when you create the fourth wave here and you push up for the final fifth wave, you have less volume in the fifth wave. Okay, that is what you want to see from a healthy impulse to the upside. Then you have an ABC, a 3-wave corrective structure, and then you continue another 5 waves back to the upside, okay? But you want to see the most amount of volume in your third wave over here. And the problem that I saw here last night, okay, is that the most amount of volume was in the last push here to the upside, which tells me C waves love to do that. And I think I pointed this out yesterday as well, okay? Here was a C wave. Okay, here was another C wave here to the downside. This was a C wave to the downside, and look at how much volume it ended. Okay, so C waves are 5-wave structures as well. That's what makes them so damn confusing. They look impulsive. They have 5 waves to the upside or to the downside, depending on whether you bull trending or downtrending. Okay, but the clue is sometimes in the volume. If it makes the last candle or the last push up or down in a higher amount of volume than in the third wave, it usually gives you a clue that it could be a C wave and not an impulsive structure. So what do I mean by an impulsive structure? Well, an impulsive structure, what I would have liked to see is this little wave here to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, I would have liked to see the most amount of volume. But then we got a final 5th wave here to the upside with the most amount of volume, which tells me that there's a high chance, okay, just a higher probability that this could be a C wave. This is a C wave because C waves love to end on the highest amount of volume at the end, okay, during the 5th wave. Right, I don't see any connection. Why the internet in South Africa is bad? I'm not sure. My internet, I'm in South Africa and I've got 500 megs up and down, right? It's not bad for me. So not sure. Yeah, my connection here says excellent at the moment. I even have like a green dot telling me that it's absolutely excellent. Okay, Mart, maybe you can just let me know in the comments down below if there's any internet connection issues. Your connection is fine. Thank you, Mr. Crypto Big Brains. Appreciate that. Okay, so perhaps, legends, we have found the first clue over here, okay, where we made the high. It smells at the moment like a C wave here to the upside, okay? And people might get confused to say that, well, Dewald, why do you call it a B, but then you call it a C wave here to the upside as well? I'm looking at the bigger structure as an A, B, C, but inside the B wave you have an A, B, C. So I'm looking at this structure as a C wave, a 3-wave structure in B, okay? That's basically why I'm referring to this structure as a potential, C wave. Right. So, legends, now I can just zoom into the structure. Let's go back here onto the 1 hour time frame. Let's do some pure technical analysis and some education. And by me going through these scenarios, okay, is also to educate, to show you how I count the waves so that you can start doing this by yourself when you see the impulses, whatever the case might be. But for me, this looks like a clear 1 wave here to the upside. On the smaller time frames, I can count 5 waves here to the upside. This to me, A, B, C looks like a flat corrective structure where we took the high. And for those of you that's been following me for a while, you know, you take your FIB, your trend-based FIB from the high to the low, you reverse it, you drag it across, and then you know, okay, if your B flat, if the B wave takes the high of your impulse, it needs to reject between the 1.236 and the 1.382, which it did perfectly in the box. That's where it rejected. So this looks to me like a 1, 2, because this is corrective, 1, 2, 3, corrective structure where the B wave took the high of the impulse. So this is to me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and I will get to what happened here this morning in our Legends Pro community. We were expecting still one more high to the upside. We didn't take the high, and we just, I mean, the rest is history, okay? But We were close enough. We were close enough to the top, but we did know that it was going to be very tricky to short this little bad boy here to the downside. And that's why I said I'm waiting for the crash. I want to see what the retracement looks like, because that will give me the clue whether we're going down further or whether we're potentially going to form that higher low for continuation here to the upside. Right, so let's just go through the scenario over here. So that now balances. So I now know that this is a nice little 1, 2. Okay, now I need to count a 5-wave structure in 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, remember what I said about volume. Here is a perfect example. Okay, when you have, let me put this on here, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let me just switch on the lines, make it brighter so that everyone can see it. Okay, so each wave has 5 waves inside of it, but here you can clearly see that the third wave had the most amount of volume. And then when you have another push to the upside that claims the high, you do that on lower volume. That is a perfect example of a 3, 4, and 5. 3 has more volume than 5 here to the upside. Do you guys see that? That's what I wanted to see over here, right? Which we didn't get. We actually ended on a higher amount of volume. Okay, so let me go back here, just clean up the scribble. Right, so take this out the way. But now you guys can see also when you measure your first wave, your third wave should hit the 1.618, which is a very common third wave target. So what I do is I take a fib from the low to the high of 1, the impulse, not the corrective structure, to the low of 2, drag it across, I reverse it, and guess what? This little third wave over here, now this gives me confirmation that this is indeed a third wave. Tap the 1.618 to perfection. Bam, that's where we got the rejection. And then we went into another 3-wave corrective structure in a 4th wave. Beautiful. Everything balances so far. We have a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4. And now the challenge this morning was this little structure here to the upside. Okay, so let me dive into that little structure. Okay, so let's go on to the 15-minute time frame. Can take some of the noise here out. And this is how I counted this structure as follow. Did I delete that? No, man, I had it here 5 minutes ago, right? This is basically the structure that I was looking at this morning. Actual fact, I was waiting for this. Okay, this is the scenario that myself and the pro members were looking at this morning, is to say that I can count a 1, 2 in an expanding diagonal. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C in a 1 and a 2. And then this massive move here to the upside with the highest amount of volume to me looked like the third wave. Done. Third wave. The conundrum we sat with this morning is to say that, well, is this all still part of a 4th wave and we're going to take the high once more because we were looking for shorts in this zone? This is where we wanted to short. Make no mistake, I was ready to short from here. Basically, you know, price comes back up, it gets acceptance back below the high, and then we short. You put your stop loss and down we go. We're going to short the crap out of this little puppy over here. And it didn't happen. So what in actual fact played out, okay, is this. We had a tiny 4th wave over here. This was the end of the impulse, where you basically have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which did look a little bit messy because you want to see a 4th wave longer than the 2nd wave over here. So, I mean, nothing is ever perfect in trading. And I do see from some other people that I follow from an Elliott count perspective as well, most people will caught off guard and off, by surprise with this to the downside. I think most of us from an Elliott wave perspective were expecting the range low to be claimed in a C wave, an A, B, C, one more high, and then we get the dump, and then we just fell down. Okay, but nonetheless, we called the top close enough. You will never be able to call the top to perfection and the bottom to perfection. Okay, but nonetheless, close enough as per the live stream yesterday and as per the live stream on Saturday as well. We've been speaking about this scenario and this crawl here to the upside, potentially reaching that topping point, and we're going to get a dump to the downside, which we now got. Okay, so I'm still not in a short, legends, and I'm also still not in a long, because I did say yesterday I'm going to wait for the retracement before I make a trading decision. I'm going to be very patient with this trade. This year, 2025, I want to enter high probable trades. I want to do less trading, but when I do enter a position, I want it to be a high probable trade. Okay. Right, so now the rest is history. Now we fell here to the downside. The last level in the sand, okay, was when we started falling here to the downside. Okay, when we started falling here to the downside and we were over here, I told the legends, remember the rule of Elliott wave theory. When you take a fib from the low of 2 to the high that we've made of 3, to the high of 3 that we've made over there, okay, you do not want to tap the 0.618, because a 0.618, okay, we were still looking at this scenario over here. I said, if this scenario is still going to play out where we take the high once again, we do not want to tap the 0.618. And then we got this initial dump here to the downside. And I said, legends, okay, maybe this is 1, 2, 3. We're going to chop, make a 5th wave, basically just claim the low over there. I don't want to see us tap the 0.618 and then move up. Okay, which we didn't get, right? We tapped the 0.618, and now you can see once you tap the 0.618, it invalidates a 4th wave, okay? And now you need to recount the structure, because I mean, as a technical analyst, nothing is ever perfect. We count it as best as we possibly can. But right then, once we tapped the 0.618, I was like, oh damn, that was the count. That was the count. That was the count that we should have looked at. But I mean, nothing's ever perfect in trading. You try your best, but I mean, we got close enough to the top. Okay, and then we got the dump here to the downside, which now makes me believe. Okay, let's now get on to the crux of the story is, let me take this out the way. Now that the impulse, now we know for sure, because we tapped the 0.618 at $100,000, because we tapped this level, the impulse is finished. Now we know the impulse is finished. So this entire structure to the upside, well, obviously, okay, is now finito. Is finished. Okay, so now we know that we have a nice, beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Now we are very interested to see how this corrective structure is going to take place. Because, okay, if this is an impulse that is forming here to the downside, 1, 2, 3 to the downside, you can see the massive amount of volume, which is very common in a 3rd wave. So if I go back here onto the 15-minute time frame, this is now what I'm looking at, okay? And this is why I'm saying it looks like the probabilities are maybe gaining momentum to go down lower, because if I now start counting this C wave to the downside like such, okay, and maybe we are now going to form a 4th wave, and then we're still going to go and take the low once again. If I start counting the structure in 5 waves to the downside, the problem now is you're making impulses to the downside. And the question now is, if you're starting to make impulses to the downside, guess what? You could make a 3-wave corrective structure back to the upside. You make a lower high, and then you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. So this is basically forming a bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. Okay. I hope you guys get the picture of what I'm trying to explain over here. So back onto the 1 hour time frame, this is now the conundrum that we sit with, and this is why the retracement and the consolidation that we are going to see in the next couple of days is going to be so important. Because if this is, okay, this scenario over here, C waves are 5 wave structures, and this little drop here to the downside is potentially the formation of your first one. Okay, that's 1 to the downside. Then you want to see 2. Okay, 2, that makes a lower high, and then you're going to have 3, 4, 5, C wave done, and then we can talk about going back to higher levels. So if this structure here to the downside is going to be a 5 wave structure, and we see a 3 wave structure back to the upside, problemo. The probabilities drastically increase that we are going to continue momentum to the downside. This is most likely. The correction always makes people bullish. Oh, we're going back up. Bull market is back intact. And you just fall here to the downside. Okay, so another thing I wanted to highlight here on the 15-minute time frame is that when I take a fib, okay, from the high that we've made over here to the trend-based fib, from the high to the low to the high, okay, this tells me that this is definitely, or it's starting to smell very much like an impulse to the downside. Okay, and the reason I say that is typically if this was not an impulse to the downside, you wanted the price to stop at the 1.618. Okay, this is where we needed the price to stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a small little C wave, and then you continue momentum here to the upside where you have an A, B, C. The C wave needed to end here by the 1.618. And because we fell down further, this now tells me that this could potentially be the formation of a bigger impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once we have a 5 wave structure, if we take this low again that we've just formed tonight, if we take this low again, it's going to be very much a 5 wave structure here to the downside. Because where price is at the moment, if we do not take the low again, we could then argue, but maybe this is a 1, 2, 3 wave structure, an ABC, and we're going to start finding momentum here back to the upside, maybe make a WXY and then continue here to the upside. But I mean, it's all about now the retracement. Is the retracement going to be a 3 wave structure, or is the retracement going to be a 5 wave structure? Okay, because with every impulse you have a 3 wave corrective structure. You have an impulse, you have a 1, 2, 3. You have an impulse, you have a 1, 2, 3. Impulse, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you guys get the point. So now, for the bulls to win this battle, what you want to see is an impulse and a 1, 2, 3. As soon as you get a 4 and a 5, big problemo. Man, I've been waiting for 87k zone since November last year. Chatster, zoom out, people. Yes, I'm going to zoom out in a moment and just show everyone where we are. So I know everyone is panicking. It's a bloodbath. The altcoins are taking a dump, double figures, minuses here on some of our favorite altcoins. And, you know, when in doubt, zoom out, because even if we hit $79,000, which I'll get to now in a moment, okay, it's still going to be a bullish bounce, right? Still going to be a bullish bounce. Okay, so legends, I think I have now discussed this structure in detail. Okay, so basically what we now need to look for is that 1, 2, 3, we maybe start chopping and consolidating, and if we take that low once again and you get acceptance back above, that could be a nice little long trade. Okay, obviously with good risk management, not more than what you can afford to lose. And remember, the links for the exchanges that I use to do all of my trading is down in the description below. Bluffin, the more you trade, the more money gets airdropped into your account. They also have that $200,000 competition running at the moment. And for weeks, up to 20K sign-up bonus, lowest trading fees only by using the link down in the description. So if you're not trading on those exchanges, go give it a try down in the description. Okay, so legends, what we are now looking for is, I will definitely, if I'm awake and not sleeping and this price action does play out while I'm awake, if I see some choppiness, a little bit of a recovery back to the upside, okay, just want to see something here. 1, 2, 3. So basically what you want to do is you want to take a fib from this little pivot to the low that we've made here. If we continue to chop here to the downside, I just want to make this clear. If we continue to do this, you chop a little bit, you go down. You chop a little bit, you go down. Okay, I will simply just move the fib down. But for the fourth wave, I expect a longer consolidation. I want to see a longer correction than number 2 over here, longer in time. So for now, that is the price action that I have here in front of me. So what I need to do is, you can take a fib from the high of 2 to the recent low that we've made over here. Okay. And ideally what you would like to see, the fourth waves has a maximum target of the 50% fib level. Like I've just explained with the structure here to the upside. Okay. As soon as we hit the 0.618, we crash down. Okay. As soon there we were at the 50% fib level, we tapped the 0.618 and we just fell down. So your fourth wave has the 382, 50% in this zone. Very, very, very common fourth wave targets. So I want price to chop and at least tap one of these levels. Okay. And if it then claims the low, if it claims that low and it gets acceptance back above, that is potentially a nice little long trade to the upside. But you have to remember, if this is a 5-wave structure and you enter along over here, it's not to say that we're going to $500,000, okay? Because this could be forming an A, B, C, and fall back down, okay? Because now you have 5 waves to the downside. You have a 3-wave corrective structure, so you need to be aggressive with profit taking. You need to be seriously aggressive with profit taking. If you attempt a long over here with good risk management, you need to pay yourself on the way up, because there's a high probability that you're going to make a lower high and continue momentum to the downside. Okay, so cool, legends. If price, now this is the conundrum. If price finds itself going up here and it taps the 0.618, then I'm going to say, oh, the bulls have a chance over here, because then you invalidate a 5-wave structure. You invalidate the 4th wave as soon as you tap the 0.618. Okay, if price comes back up and it taps the 0.618, I'm going to say the bulls have a chance, because any movement away potentially becomes a great buy the dip opportunity. But I mean, let's see how price is going to play out over here. For now, I expect at least the 382 to be hit at $98,600, give or take. $99,000 is the deepest retracement that you want to see for us to come and still take the low over here. Okay, so legends, now let me zoom out onto the 8-hour time frame. Alts will drop by like 60%. Cutest girls. Mr. Cutest girls is always the most bearish person here in the comment section. Okay, right. Yes, then I'll obviously be stopped out of all my swing trades. It is what it is. Nothing to panic about. So legends, the one scenario that I do want to highlight over here is the following. And let me just I want to just take some of the scribble out the way. And what I want to do is switch on my today analysis. Okay, so I know it looks a little bit messy, but I'm going to explain it in detail so that everyone understands what's going on here. Why is Dewald saying that we could potentially go down to $79,000? Okay, let's take it step by step. Let me switch off this. Okay, so, and let me delete these two. I don't need that anymore. Right, I am now looking at this structure. 1, 2, 3 4, 5 to still go and claim the high. I've been talking about this structure for very, very, very long. Even when I was on a break at the coast, I highlighted the structure over here. 1, 2, 3, and I said yes, the low could be in over here. The low could be in, and we're going to build impulses back to the upside, and that is still a probability where if we do make a three-wave structure, we tap that 0.618, like I've said, we do increase the probabilities that we are going to make a higher low and continue here to the upside. So we cannot rule that scenario out just as yet. But let's entertain the most bearish case scenario that I see in the short term over here. Is that, again, when you take a fib from number 2 to the high of 3, okay, your maximum target for a fourth wave is the 50% fib. And guess where the 50% fib is? At 79,951. Okay, then also, if this is an A, B, C to the downside, I can go and measure where the C wave targets are, because now I have a lower high. Finally, I have a lower high to calculate. So I can take a fib extension from the high of 3 to the low to the high. And I just want to make sure that I've got that in nicely. Okay. Right, I need to get these levels ever so precisely. Let me just drag it a little bit to the side so that everyone can see the numbers. Okay, now we have some targets. This is where things now become very interesting, okay, because now we can see where the C wave targets are. C wave targets, okay, is the 786, very rare. It is the C wave target, very rare. It's very seldom that it just stops at the 786 over here. The most common C wave targets is the 121 and the 1.236 inside of this box, which has confluence with your fib retracement of the 0.382. So hopefully the retracement will only go up until $84,000. It basically sweeps up all the liquidity below these lows over here. It bounces on the 0.382. It taps the 121 extension, the 1.236, and we find support in this zone over here. Okay, and you complete basically the C wave in this zone, and we start building impulses back. So this structure is basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC in 4. Nice little beautiful three-way structure, and we go where we take the high again. But the worst case scenario, as per the thumbnail, not clickbait, is the 50% fib level. And the reason I said $79,000 is because a C wave, okay, can also extend up until the 1.618, which is more or less in confluence with a 50% fib level over here. And that is considered an extended C wave. But also very common. I see it play out all the time. I see it play out all the time. Okay, so between $78,700 and $79,900 in this zone is the maximum zone that I want to see the price recover. If it gets really nasty and brutal here to the downside, this is where you want Bitcoin to find support. 50%. 1.618 in an ABC maximum target. You don't want the price to go down lower than this, because if you tap the 0.618 at $74,000, you invalidate an ABC. You're basically invalidating the C wave. And you are invalidating the fourth wave, because the fourth wave is not allowed to tap the 0.618. It has a maximum target of the 50% fib level over there, which then tells me that, okay, well then, okay, this count could have been, maybe the 3 was over here, maybe the 5 was over here. We have reached the top, and this is a deeper, much deeper correction to the downside. Unfortunately, the levels are a little bit further to the downside, but then we are going to take this little fib, we're going to drag it here to the low. I'm going to take this puppy out here. Let's just do that again. This is where things are going to get really nasty, and maybe this is the target I should have put in the thumbnail, right? Then you are starting to look at the, the 0.618 at $66,000. Okay, because then it means that if this was the end of the impulse over here, it means that this corrective structure needs to correct the entire impulse here to the upside. Okay. Yes, legends, smash up the like button over here. Almost 300 people on the live stream and only 88 likes. I think we can do much better than that. I'm sharing so much education. You guys don't understand. The things that I'm sharing with you here on the YouTube channel is what I have paid lots of money for in some people's crypto courses, and what you would still pay a lot of money for in other people's crypto courses. And I am sharing it here to you for free so that I can help you to become a successful trader. Right? Cool, legends. So the conundrum is we don't know whether this was the top, okay, and we're going to make a much deeper correction here to the downside, but we need to stay level-headed and we need to play the scenarios until the invalidations gets hit. So for now, let me just undo all of this, put that fifth wave back to where it's supposed to be. Okay, for now, this is still the highest probable scenario, okay, because we have not hit any invalidations just as yet. Okay, we have not hit the 0.618 just as yet. This does still count beautifully as a 1, 2, 3 here to the upside. This still looks like a corrective structure here to the downside. So there's nothing that tells me, there's not enough data and candles that tells me at the moment that we're not going to get a fifth wave. Okay, for now, the scenario is intact until invalidated. And this is how we trade as technical analysts. Anthony van Roo, I love you, Dewald. Thank you so much. Love you guys too. Dewald, Mark Dutch, welcome in the house. Mr. Shoes. Mark Dutch, did you get shoes for Christmas? Legend, funny Transvaal. Smash for him, man. Mr. Boom. Daniel Wagger, shit's giving me depression. Mr. CBM, if you guys have not seen, I see in the house we've got the legend himself, the person that I watch every day to get my daily dose of news. We have the legend in the house. I want to show you guys, if you have not checked this out, this person over here. First link here in the description, you will see over here. Okay, I've got Andy. Okay, can you guys see? I've got Andy and I've got Matt. Right, Matt has an amazing YouTube channel where he shares alpha on a daily basis, okay, almost on a daily basis. And what I like about his videos the most is that where I have to spend hours and hours and hours going through Twitter, reading the news, trying to make sense of everything. Sometimes the things that they are saying doesn't really make sense. Matt has the amazing ability to take all of the news in Twitter, summarize it, and explain to you how it all works. Okay, so go and give him a follow. Link down in the description. Go and give Mr. CBM a follow over here. Okay, right, absolute legends. Thanks for joining the live stream. Appreciate you being here. And right, legends, let's get back into the technical analysis. So for now, legends, without spreading fear and panic, all I'm saying is, okay, there is still a chance, okay, that we do not get here. There's still a chance that we don't even get here. There is still a chance, a slight chance that this was the low. As technical analysts, we just need to be prepared for each and every single scenario. Irina, you're almost right. Dewald knows what I mean. Okay. Because if I go back here onto the 1 hour time frame and we look at this scenario over here, I can tell you guys now, okay, looking at this impulse here to the upside, we have formed 5 waves. And if we are by some miracle going to form a 3-wave structure to the downside, okay, there's a high chance that you could still make a higher low and continue momentum to the upside. But I don't want this wave here to the downside to be a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want it to stop, and when you take your fib from the second wave to wherever it is, I want us to tap the 0.618. If price can by some miracle find the strength to start moving up here, okay, and it, without retracing back down, it taps the 0.618, I'm going to say the bulls have a chance, the low could potentially be in. And this is an impulse, a correction, and we're going to continue momentum to the upside. This is why this correction is so goddamn important. You guys do not understand how important this correction is, and we unfortunately need more data in order to analyze whether it's a bullish correction or whether it's a bearish correction. If it's going to be a 5-wave structure to the downside, 3 waves to the upside, we're most likely going to do that $79,000 zone, $85,000 zone. If it's going to be a 3-wave structure, we tap the 0.618, we do not take the lows again, there's a chance the bulls the bulls have a chance. Okay, the bulls have a chance. Just putting it out there, right? We need to look at both bullish and bearish case scenarios. I cannot just sit here and tell you guys, okay, based on this move here to the downside, just any retracement, you bloody fill up your short bags and you put your stop loss here above the high. Any retracement, guys, you just need to add. Let's go 100x, Papa. Let's short this bad boy here to the downside. And then what it does is it forms a 3-wave structure. It taps the 0.618, okay? It goes down, it makes everyone happy, we're making money, we're celebrating as a community. Dewald called it to perfection, and then bam. Right, no, we need to be patient. We need to see and we need to observe what is going to happen over here. Okay, I just want to see, out of curiosity, what is CVD doing here on the 15-minute time frame. Let's just see. So you see, now this is the pivot that I'm interested in, okay? And if we're not going to make a 5-wave structure to the downside and we start recovering and we go and tap that 0.618, I want to see if we're making bullish CVD from this pivot. I'm interested in this pivot over here, okay? And I mean, price can, I don't mind if price does, where's my pen? I don't mind if price does this, if it does this, it grinds to the downside, but I don't want to see you tap when you take a fib from the high to the low, you tap the 0.382 and you take the low again. That's going to be bad. That's going to be really bad. That's what you don't want to see. As long as it chops like this to the downside, it's perfectly fine. And if we can make that nice little bullish CVD, the bulls have a chance. Okay, we don't have bullish CVD on white. We don't have, do we? We don't have bullish CVD on blue just as yet. And we do have bullish CVD on yellow. We do have bullish CVD on yellow, but I can see there was already bullish CVD that played out here on yellow. So we'll see how I want to see it on white and blue. I want to see it on the 2 lines that hasn't given us bullish CVD just as yet. As price grinds here to the downside, I will be looking for signs of strength over here. But if it's going to make a 5-wave structure, it doesn't matter whether there's bullish CVD. It's just I mean, the probabilities are so high that you are going to take out the $91,000 area. I'm not even going to look at CVD. Right. Cool. Legends, let me go through some comments. Okay, that's basically the scenarios that I see over here. Also, just lastly, what I wanted to have a look at, just want to take some of these lines out. Okay, let's take some of these lines out, clean up the chart a little bit over here. Is simple technical analysis. Take a fib from the low to the high of the structure. Okay, you can see where we're currently finding a little bit of consolidation is here at the 50% fib level. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So if we do move up here, and you know, that's the interesting structure. Okay, so I mean, even in a downtrend, even if I count 5 waves here to the downside, we go back up. I mean, there are still long opportunities. There are longs and short, whether we're uptrending or downtrending. You know how many times I've played short with Bitcoin rampaging here to the upside. There's always short and long opportunities. Okay. Cool. I seriously doubt whether we're just going to make a V-shaped recovery over here. Okay. I seriously doubt whether we're going to make a V-shaped recovery. I mean, the market is here to surprise us, and it's definitely going to be a surprise to me. To make a V-shaped recovery, out of here and just claim the high from a structural perspective is very confusing. Okay, we'll analyze that when it does happen, but I don't see the likelihood of a V-shaped recovery from where we are just as yet. I see a better and a higher probability for at least a lower high and then continuation to the downside. Whether this is a bullish bounce or continuation to the downside, but I still see a lower high form over here, not just a V-shaped recovery and then go back down. Okay, unless this is an A, but then you still want to see a 5-wave structure in A, 3-wave structure in B, which is a flat, and then you go back for a C to the downside. We'll see. Okay, I just don't want to create or put too much confusion out there. Right, legends, let's go through some comments. It's true, Dewald is giving great alpha. Yes, smash up the like for the alpha over here. Appreciate every single one being here on the live stream. If you've only just joined the live stream, I have basically gone through why we could potentially go and hit $78,000-$79,000 and what we need to look out for inside of this structure, okay, to confirm continuation to the downside or a higher low for continuation back to the upside. For now, based on some of the clues, nothing is ever guaranteed, but based on some of the clues, because we ended the high over here on a high amount of volume, it does unfortunately increase the probabilities that this could be a C wave to form your B, and we are going down, like we're going down. Okay, we're going down. That's unfortunately the little clues that I see here at the moment, but the corrective structure will give us the information that we need. And as always, I'm hoping that it's going to be an easy corrective structure that we can make sense of, because you know the market makers could make it very difficult and give us another structure here that just is impossible to analyze. Cool, legends. So I mean, for those of you that's just joined and you haven't seen it, go back a little bit in the live stream. I've analyzed in detail the structure, and I'm not going to go through it again. Also on the 8-hour time frame, why we could potentially go and hit $78,000 and what needs to happen, more locally for us, okay, to make a trading decision to the upside or to the downside. Right. Cool, legends. Let's go through some Dewald altcoins entries like ARC. Yes, I was looking at my AR entries. I'm still in the green. Luckily, I'm still in the green on some of my swing trades. But I did tell everyone, if I get stopped, I did tell everyone what my plan is. I was looking at AR over here, okay? It's coming back into the load up zone that I spoken about yesterday. It looked like a beautiful pump here to the upside. Now it's back in load up zone, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's forming a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a triangle. Okay, A, B, C, and bam, off to the races you go. We'll just have to see how the structure is going to play out. But I mean, you guys can see I'm very open with this. This is where my entry is, my swing entry. This is my swing entry. I have a clear invalidation below the lows, and if I get stopped out, so be it. I will look for a next trading opportunity, but I can tell you guys now, if we claim this low, okay, and I get stopped out and price finds acceptance back above the level, okay, I will enter another swing trade. That will be really, really bullish. If price falls down, it sweeps up the liquidity. It basically stops out all the stop losses over here, including myself, and it finds acceptance back above. That to me is another go at a swing trade here to the upside. But for now, as I highlighted yesterday, I need to give the structure the benefit of the doubt. Even though Bitcoin looks extremely bearish here at the moment, I have to consider, well, what if this is forming a 3-wave structure? We go back up, we tap the 0.618, we go back down, we can even take the low, it's fine. We find support here between the 786 and the 618, we make that higher low and we continue, okay? I'm not going to chicken out of my trade and then it consolidates here and then it takes off and then I cashed out because I was scared. No, I planned my trade and I stick to my plan. That's just how I trade as a technical analyst. Okay, I have my entry, I have my stop loss. So I know where my risk management is. I know why I entered, and I know where to take profits, because this trade could be epic here to the upside. Okay, that's where I plan to take profits. So, yeah, you guys can see I was doing some analysis over here. What I was looking at, I just wanted to see here, based on this previous impulse from a time perspective, from a timing perspective, you guys can see that I have the time fib over here. I basically took the time it took from the start of the impulse, okay, and how long the correction took. Where did we make the low? We made the low between the 0.618 and the 1-to-1 extension. That is where we made the low. And now we are past the 1-to-1 extension. So it would be very strange, okay, not impossible, but it would be very strange based on timing. Okay, if I look at the impulse and I look at the timing to where price is at the moment, it would be very strange to make another low after the 1-to-1 extension. Okay, not impossible. I mean, you can even make a low at the 2 extension, but it's just such a beautiful balance. You have a 1-to-1 extension over here. You made the low between the 0.618 and the 1-to-1 extension, which is perfectly normal, perfectly fine. And I'm still giving this trade, this impulse and this correction, the benefit of the doubt that it's going to find momentum back to the upside. As I highlighted yesterday, I do like, I'm seeing the bullish signs and I need to give the trade the benefit of the doubt. We have made a higher high. We are starting to change local market structure. I want to see a higher low form over here for continuation to the upside. This is why I took the trade. That's my why. I see the bullish signs, higher high. I want to see a higher low. The low here was made between the 618 and the 1-to-1 extension. This could potentially be the start of the reversal here to the upside. Maybe it's going to go sideways for much longer. Who knows, right? Before it just gets a God candle here out of nowhere. I don't know. Or worst case scenario, okay, is that Mr. AR over here stops me out. It takes the low. But then magic starts happening, okay? It recovers back above this low. And I'm telling you guys now, if this had to play out where I get stopped out and price recovers back above this zone over here, you will see, you're going to see my entry there, right? I'm going to tell you guys I have entered in my live stream. And my stop loss is below the lows. And I will show you guys, I'm still going to take profits exactly where I plan to take profits now. So I'm willing to take the knock on the chin if I get stopped out, but I've already planned this trade and I will let it play out. Even if I get stopped out, I will let it play out because it might just find bullish continuation here to the upside. And then I chickened out of the trade and then I have to find an entry higher. Then I have to buy in at higher prices. I'm not going to do that. I have burned myself like that many times in the past. Okay, where you see bearishness on Bitcoin and you start panicking out of your altcoin trades. Okay, because I mean AR is now just dropping over here and now people are panicking. Oh, because maybe some people bought over here and now you're deeply underwater over here. You're panicking out of the trade and maybe finds some support and then it continues. It breaks the trend. Okay, it breaks this trend. And now you start buying in at higher levels again, okay? But your entry was there, but now you took the loss. I mean, it's just not the way to trade. You need to let your trade play out. Okay, but you need to plan your trade, best of all, because I do see sometimes when I say that, this is a good accumulation zone or this token looks bullish, yeah, people go crazy. They just go in 10x their entire portfolio and then they get liquidated. So please trade with good risk management. Cool. Dewald, please, what's the difference between the yellow, green, and blue CVD? Okay. Blue, it says here, is Bybit USDT. Okay, I think my head is there in the way. But the blue line is basically the volume that's traded on Bybit using USDT. The yellow line is Bybit USD, people that trade with USD. And then the white line is all other exchanges combined. Okay, so that's basically what they mean. I like to look at the 3 lines because they give you a better picture of what is going on. And whether you have a triple confirmation or a double confirmation or just a single confirmation on one line that shows you bearish or bullish CVD. Right, legends. And remember, if you'd like to come and trade with me, let me just do this down in the description. Right, legends. And remember, if you'd like to come and trade with me, just do this. Yep. Okay, down in the description, I've got Bluffin. The more you trade, the more money gets airdropped into your account. Weeks, big sign-up bonus, some simple tasks that you need to complete, and the money gets airdropped into your account, and it's also withdrawable. The money that gets airdropped into your week's account is also, you can withdraw that cash. Okay, you also get lower trading fees on weeks by using the link down in the description. So you guys support me to be here and provide you with technical analysis every single day, and I give you the best deals that I can from these exchanges. Right, cool. What else? Rose, please. I love spot buy myself. If you're using leverage, use good risk management, legends. Yes, I mean, you guys saw when my AR trade, I told everyone is on 2x leverage. Maybe some of them I've got on 3x leverage, but I really seldom on a swing trade. I very seldom go to 4 or even beyond 4x and beyond. I like to stick to 2 and 3x depending on where the invalidation and the liquidation price is. Okay, right, legends. So yeah, that's basically my technical analysis here on Mr. AR. Okay, I mean, regardless, it just has to be said. Okay, and maybe I'm the stupid asshole here on YouTube. Sorry for the French. That's still seeing the beauty in the structure, even though Bitcoin is taking a massive dump here to the downside, and people are saying, well, Dewald, how on earth can you still be bullish? Okay, what if we're going down to $79,000? It's just, it is what it is, right? I see a beautiful impulse, 1 2 3 4 5. I see a long corrective structure. I see a 1, I see a 2, and I see this potential for the third wave here to the upside. And I know as a technical trader, the third waves are the best waves to trade because they are so aggressive to the upside. When they start pumping, you can't get in. Okay, you just can't get in. They don't give you proper retracements to get into the trade, and this is why you need to buy over here. So from a spot perspective, I am well positioned in AR. From a swing trade perspective, I'll be stopped out and I'll be looking for another entry. So there's a big difference between a spot trade and a swing trade. Yes, a swing trade, you need low leverage, you need to have an invalidation, you need to know where to take profits, and don't risk more than what you can afford to lose. For my spot trade, I'm just sitting on my hands, anticipating this move, okay, because this move I know is going to be epic. And once it starts taking off, then everyone is going to ask me, can I buy now? Can I buy now? And then I'm going to say to everyone, yeah, no, we are taking profits. You want to buy now? We are taking profits, baby. Okay, because we bought here when it was very uncomfortable. When shit looked bad, this is where we dollar cost average into our favorite altcoins. Okay, right, cool. So I will go and look at Rose at the moment. BTC dominance. Why is everyone saying BTC dominance? Okay, BTC dominance is climbing here to the upside. Okay. In a 5x AR long from 18. From 18. Yeah, you see that the... Let me just, let's just go to the 4-hour time frame. Okay. So, you know, and this is why leverage, guys, this is why leverage is so dangerous in altcoins. And this is why I don't use more than 3x. Because if you, for example, bought at $18, okay, right there, you bought the bounce, you're expecting the bounce here on top of the box, and we go to the lows. Okay, at 5x you are liquidated. If we take this low over here, your position is liquidated. This is why leverage is so dangerous in altcoins, because the moves from a percentage perspective is very volatile. Okay, so on 5x leverage, your liquidation is basically below the low. Okay, at 20%, your 5x position is liquidated. At 10%, your 10x position is liquidated. Okay, this is why I have a 2x position. So even at the lows, I'm still not liquidated. My stop loss will kick me out before I get liquidated, because I do not like to get liquidated. I do not get liquidated anymore. I used to, when I started out, get liquidated all the time. I don't get liquidated. I have a stop loss, I get stopped out. From a market psychology perspective, it's way better to get stopped out than liquidate your position. Okay. Right. Cool. But I mean, it has to be said, we are back in load up zone, baby. We are back in load up zone. And I'm going to give this low the chance, the benefit of the doubt until it's invalidated, right? This looks like a beautiful impulsive structure here to the upside. This still looks corrective. I just want to see something here. So that's a lower high. So also from a timing perspective, let's go look at this from a timing perspective. From the low to the high, okay? Where was this low made? This low was made after, at least after the 0.382, okay? Can everyone see that? Which is fine. As long as the low is made after the minimum target, it is fine. But we are now, we passed the 1-to-1 extension already. So if if you're going to make another low, it just means that your correction is longer than your impulse, okay, longer. But up until the 2 is still fine. Here by the 3, it starts getting dangerous, okay? But ideally, what I've seen from most of the altcoins between the 0.382 and the 1-to-1 extension is where the low is made. When you have an impulse to the upside, the correction is made inside of this box. And AR has made the low inside of the box. So I'm still giving AR the benefit of the doubt. Yes, it can do this. And I'm prepared for that scenario over there. But it could also find strength here inside the box, break the trend, okay, and continue momentum to the upside. So I'm not going to FOMO out of my trade just as yet. Luckily, still in the profits, ever so slightly, but still in the profits. Right, then I saw Flux. People want Flux, practice good risk management. Yes, Mr. Crypto Big Brains, always good risk management. Rudy, any chance for Masa? For Masa, we can go and have a look at Masa. Someone in the comments section, okay, after the live stream yesterday or 2 days ago, asked me to do analysis on 𝗖𝗿. So I'm just quickly going to, I've already done it, and that's the beauty. When you send me an altcoin request in the comments after the live stream, I can then go and prepare the chart and show you, and then I don't spend half an hour trying to analyze it. But 𝗖𝗿 looks absolutely amazing, and I'm sure Andy has spoken about 𝗖𝗿 as well. Okay, so I feel like I'm repeating potentially what Andy has said. I haven't seen Andy's live stream today, so I'm not sure if he's spoken about this. But for me, 𝗖𝗿 looks absolutely fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a wave 1. Beautiful corrective structure in a wave 2. You did not take the lows. Beautiful higher bounce. This looks like an expanding triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a wave 1. Okay, you are potentially still busy. The 2 is either in, or you're still busy with the 2. Okay, but what I would expect from a maximum target perspective, if I zoom into this structure over here, okay, this little structure, now what you want to do is you take a fib from the low to the high, and if price comes down, for some reason it comes down to the 786, okay, this will be a phenomenal buying opportunity, because this is your 1, 2, and your 786 is regarded as your maximum second wave bounce. Okay, but it is finding support here already by the 618. So I would say this zone over here for me on 𝗖𝗿 is a great accumulation zone from a spot bag perspective. If you want to attempt a swing position over here, please exercise good risk management, low leverage, small capital. The percentages are big, and you don't need a lot of capital to make insane gains here on 𝗖𝗿. And 𝗖𝗿 can be traded on weeks and Bluffin with the links down in the description. So this zone between 31 cents and 40 cents for me is a great accumulation zone for 𝗖. Right, and just zooming out here again, this is basically the structure that I foresee, even with the bearishness that we find ourselves in on Bitcoin. This is the structure that I see here on 𝗖. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this, believe it or not, is a conservative target. Okay, very conservative target. $2. I see a $2 𝗖 by the end of this cycle, whenever the cycle is going to finish, maybe Q4 of this year. Right, and we have just finished the impulse here in number 1. We are now busy with number 2. You don't really want to see us go down lower than 31 cents. You don't really want to see us go down lower. And then we're going to go and have that third wave. I mean, this wave here, that's the wave you want to be in. That is the best wave to trade. You guys know on AR, on Flux, this is the best wave. You want to be in this wave. Okay, so this to me is a great accumulation zone. And it can still take a while because, interestingly, from a timing perspective, let's go check it out. Okay, let's go back into the structure. And this is why I say the correction potentially is not finished. So if you take a time fib from the start of the impulse to the end of the impulse, okay, this is where it is a little bit concerning for me, is that this low was made before the 382. I would ideally like to see the low being made inside of this box. So maybe it chops, it goes down, and then you get the bounce inside of this box over here. So between 22 Jan and the 5th of April, okay, this is where you want to see the correction finished. It's not impossible for the correction to be finished over here, but it is a little bit short in time. That is the concern. You want the correction to finish inside of this box. So there is still slightly a higher probability that you are most likely going to take this low again. The low at 37 cents, there is a chance that you're going to take this low again, because you have an impulse and the correction is very short. Okay, you want to see an impulse and a correction that finishes inside of this box from a timing perspective, and then we rock and roll here to the upside. Okay, timing is never an invalidation. It is just, it builds on the probabilities and the confluences that you would like to see. Okay, because I have seen lows made before the minimum target and then it finds upwards momentum. It's just a low probability. So maybe 2 out of 10 trades this happens, okay, and 8 out of 10 times you find the correction inside of the box where it's supposed to take place. So it's just a game of probabilities. Cool. I highly doubt 79K, but anything is possible. I just think that would seriously hurt altcoins. Altcoins are already doing worse than previous halving years, so another 40% drop would not be good. Yes, Ray. I mean, we're all hoping for the best, nah? I mean, that's what we're all hoping for, is that even, okay, and let's play it out. Even if Bitcoin does find that dump here to the downside, hopefully, okay, dominance also does this, and it protects the altcoins so that they don't get that severe drop. They just, you know, like what happened over here. I remember this drop. This drop over here, it did nothing to the altcoins. Okay, I remember I woke up in the morning. Okay, I woke up in the morning round about here, and I was like, oh, my altcoin portfolio must be looking terrible. And then I looked at my altcoin portfolio and it was fantastic, right? Nothing happened because dominance also dropped over here. It protected the alts. So yes, I mean, this drop, it can definitely drag the altcoins to the downside. It can definitely drag the altcoins, no doubt about it. So let's see, okay? Let's see. Hopefully we get that bounce here, okay? This is the secret. This is now the secret. If I go back here onto the 15-minute time frame and you take your Fibonacci, okay, from this low, okay, this low to wherever price is going to end here now at the bottom. So we have that low over here. If price by some miracle can find a V shape up until the 0.618, you increase the probabilities that this is a 3-wave corrective structure. And we could, even with a retracement that takes the low again, you increase the probabilities that you are going to form a higher low when you tap that 0.618. If you do not tap the 0.618 and you tap the 50% and the 382 and you take that low again, and then you go back up, you increase the probabilities that this retracement is a shorting opportunity to the downside. So it's very important to see what is going to happen with this correction, because is this a C wave or is this an impulsive wave 1, and we are forming a wave 2 and we are going to form a wave 3, or is this a B, which is the C, and we're going to go down. Okay, so the retracement will give us all the clues. Right, but I mean, still, on the 8-hour time frame, for those of you that have just joined, this is what I also discussed in the meninging of this stream. Okay, this is the structure that I still think carries, for now, higher probability, is that worst case scenario, okay, you take a fib from this little pivot, okay, that we formed on 10 October, and you want $80,000 to hold. $80,000 needs to be the area that holds to have a valid fourth wave, because the fourth wave is not allowed to tap the 0.618 to still have a chance for price discovery back to the upside. So although this could be extremely brutal for some of our altcoins and stop us out of our swing positions, and maybe even me out of my swing positions, this is going to be an absolutely crazy bullish buying opportunity, and I can just imagine how the bulls are going to step in, because dips are made for buying in a bull market. That is what dips are made for. It's for buying. Okay, if we get to $80,000, maybe even 85. Okay, I don't even think we're going to get to $80,000. I think there's too much buying pressure. There's too many whales still buying. But I'm saying worst case scenario, you want to see $80,000 hold for us to still have a fifth wave to the upside. Best case scenario, okay, you want to see $85,000, let's call it $86,000. You're basically sweeping up all the liquidity below these lows. When you take your fib from the low to the high, usually when you tap a major fib level for the first time, when you tap a major fib level, which is the 382 for the first time, you usually get that nice little bounce to the upside. It also has confluence when you take a fib, trend-based fib from the high to the low of the correction to the high. That 382 also has beautiful confluence with a 1-to-1 extension over here, which is a very, very common C wave target. A, B, C. 1-to-1, 382, $86,000, and this could be the end. We might not even get to $80,000. I'm just saying maximum you want to see $80,000. Most likely you're not going to get there. You're going to stop here by $86,000 and then start building impulses to the upside. And that is if the structure turns out to be bearish and we form that 5 waves to the downside on the 15-minute time frame. Right, smash up the like for the education. Hope you guys are enjoying the live stream over here. I'm sharing a lot of alpha education, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So, you know, it would be nice if you guys share the love by hitting the like button over there. Right, we have a super chat in the house. Let me see what the super chat is. PLN, is that the token? PLN, do you want me to do analysis on it? Or is that, oh, that's the, wow, you basically just said number 1, right? I'm trying to make sense of this super chat over there. I think that's the money that you spend on the super chat. So you didn't ask anything, you just wanted to say number 1. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. You're also number 1. Jakob. Okay, so close to 200 likes, legends, almost. Can we get 200 likes? 10 more likes? Come on, guys, 10 more likes. I use ICP. Let's go look. I mean, I had to look at ICP yesterday. Okay. Also, just wanted to highlight Solana. I mean, I'm not going to do any technical analysis on Solana. I'm just going to show you this picture. What do you think is going to happen with Solana? What do you think is going to happen? right? I mean, technical analysis does not get any more basic than this, right? Do you guys, I remember seeing this somewhere not so long ago. I remember seeing this somewhere. Okay. Let's take all of these stuff out the way. Let's do this. And for some reason, price does not want to load up. But I remember seeing this, okay? Let me draw my little picture, and there's your handle. Bam, right? I mean, they play out all the time. They play out all the time. $800 Solana. Yes, I mean, I've got a very conservative target here of 382. That is my conservative target on Solana. But I do believe that it has the potential to go as per Pac-Man, as per your target. I think it has the potential to hit $800. When you start doing technical analysis and Elliott wave counts on the logarithmic scale, $800 does not actually seem like a bad target, but I'm going to keep it conservative over here and just let's call it 382, and that's basically the measured move from this cup. Okay, that's the measured move that I've got over here. The measured move from the breakout, $382. Right. Cool. Maybe 400. 𝗬𝗄𝗿𝗆, are you turning bullish? Do I smell some bullishness in the air? Myro for the legends chat, please. Yes, let's do some Myro. Okay, let's do Myro over here. Let me see. Myro. Oof. Myro took an absolute beating here to the downside. Myro actually looks really bad, okay? Because I was looking at this structure over here potentially being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in an expanding diagonal, okay? And then you wanted to see an A, B, C not take the low. You wanted the bullish bounce to happen at 8 cents. And we tapped the 8.8 and we took the low. So not good. Not good. What can I say? Myro doesn't look good, right? I mean, I still have Myro in my spot bags, but I mean, I'm in no swing position here at the moment. I do like that we took the lows and we are currently trading above. So this could potentially be an opportunity, right? It's so uncomfortable to buy here. No one wants to buy over here. It just looks too bearish. Okay, it's lost this bullish structure where we could have counted a 1, a 2, and a 3 wave here to the upside, but now we can't because we took the low. The lows has been taken, so this is no more no more bullish, right? It now needs to build a new bullish structure. So this is very uncomfortable to look at where price is on Myro at the moment. But it could potentially be the best place to buy, because when things are very uncomfortable and no one wants to buy, it's usually the best place to buy. You have SFP the lows and you are currently trading above. Okay, so this is potentially your load up zone, the support, right? You have your support over here. So price inside of your support zone is usually the best buys. But I mean, it doesn't look pretty. It is so, yes, blood, blood, blood. When there's blood in the street, buy, buy, buy. No financial advice. You couldn't have said it any better, Mr. Crypto Big Brains. No one wants to buy over here. And I'm sure a lot of you are watching Myro and you're going, I will not touch this thing with a stick, right? But this is usually the best buying opportunities. Okay, I have enough in my spot bag, so I'm not buying anymore. I'm just riding it for the potential of the alt season that's potentially still going to play out, right? I have enough Myro. I'm not a big fan of meme coins in my portfolio. I have Myro, I have Doge, and I think I have Lamb. Okay, it's one that I've added recently. A month ago or so, I added Lamb. Right, Dewald, even Beam has cup and handle. Yes, I have seen the cup and handles on many altcoins. Mr. Godfather, PRQ, KSM, Nia, please. Okay, you guys are throwing me with your altcoin requests. Let's go and tackle some of them. Let's do Nia for the legends in the chat. Okay, let's do Nia. I'm taking some guidance here from the moderators, because they obviously go through all the comments, and if there's a theme, like more than one person are asking for the same token, they will let me know if there's a theme in the chat. So I'm going to take some guidance here from the moderators. Let's do Nia USDT. I mean, Nia still looks fantastic. What can I say? I mean, look at this insane bullish structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't take the high. Let me just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, it's just such a confusing structure here to the upside. But I mean, the bounce here is so bullish, right? So when you take a fib from the low to the high, let me just take the scribble out. I want to see where that retraced to. Okay, then I want to do quick timing on this from the low to the high of the impulse. Where did the correction end? You can see that the low was made around about the 1-to-1 extension. So you have a beautiful impulse and you have a correction, same time. Okay, same time, 1-to-1 extension. Correction was, or the low was made at the 1-to-1 extension, slightly before. So it could be building up impulses here back to the upside to at least come and claim the highs. The one thing that I am spotting over here is that when you take, okay, let me just take this out the way. When you take a fib from the high to the low, we have tapped the 0.88. And when you tap the 0.88, any retracement, even with a retracement, you increase the probabilities of going to claim the high once again. So even with the retracement to the downside, you have a higher probability to take out the highs again before you take out the low. Okay, so based on this, what I'm basically telling you is the probabilities are higher to take out the high before you take out the low because of that. Right. Mariela, welcome to the live stream. I liked the smash. Good day, legends, Pac-Man, Crypto, Big Brains, and all the sexy people. Welcome, Mariela. Absolute pleasure to have you here on the live stream. Okay, so, I mean, and on the regular scale, it just looks insanely bullish. Okay, so on the regular scale, you have found support here by the 0.618. Beautiful impulse. Correction, you made the low by the 1-to-1 extension, and this could this be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, this could be an expanding, some sort of diagonal where this is now 1, but it looks like 2, you know, number 2 needs some time, because if this is the start and this is the end, the correction could still take some time. Okay, so I think what would be interesting for me is when I zoom into this structure on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, I can take this out the way. Now this is where things become interesting. You did not take that low, so it's definitely a possibility for some sort of expanding thing going on here. Okay, where you basically have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, could be, but then this is too short, because then when you take a time fib from the low to the high, okay, you can see that is a problem. There's a little bit of a problem. So I'm not saying it's bearish. All I'm saying is the correction could still take a little bit longer. And then inside of this zone, you start moving and finding momentum back to the upside. Okay, what would be more interesting to me is to see from a Fibonacci perspective where is the maximum target. So from the low to the high, okay, you're looking at $4.2 as the maximum target. So whatever happens over here, okay, you don't really want to lose the 786. The low could potentially already be in. We never know. The low could potentially already be in, and it's just going to go sideways, 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 and then it shoots up. Exactly like AR, like Flux, ICP, some of the altcoins. Okay, the low could potentially already be in, and it's just literally going to go sideways until it has enough time where the impulse and the correction has a 1-to-1 or a better timing balance, and then it shoots to the upside. But yes, this low, if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this low, okay, was made before the 382, which is a little bit concerning, which tells me, okay, it's either going to take a little bit longer before it finds upwards momentum, or I have counted the structure incorrectly. Maybe this is not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe this is something else. It's just building up momentum, building up. Maybe this could also be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 here to the upside. You just never know, right? Where this correction then makes sense, because then you measure the timing from this pivot to the high, and then this pivot makes sense. So all I'm basically saying is that I think the point that I'm trying to drive across over here is this is a great buying zone. Because you've tapped the 0.88 to the upside, you increase the probabilities that even with the retracement, you're still going to claim the highs first before you claim the low. Okay, hope that makes sense. Right. Who else? What else? 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽. Let's go and have a look at 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝘆𝗽. 𝗖𝗿𝗿𝘆𝗽 USDT. I know that 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝘆𝗽 had a massive pump to the upside, an absolute parabolic pump to the upside. Okay, I mean, just look at this. I mean, how bullish do you get, right? This was just third wave galore, right? And I mean, this is what we're trying to get into now, is you have this beautiful, oops, just want to make sure, did we claim that low? No, this looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, okay, corrective structure, but this could be a 1, 2, because this low did not take that low. If I zoom in, I can show you guys. I can see it over here. So this could be the 1, 2, 3, which has the most amount of volume in your third wave, and it's potentially building up the fourth wave over here to at least go and claim the highs once more, okay, before we can call for a bear market. Right, so inside of this zone, let's go and check it out. So let's take the scribble out. So it still looks like even with a retracement, the probabilities are still higher to take out the high before you take the low. And then if it's a fourth wave, what you don't want to see is, let me just take that out the way, fib from the low to the high. You don't want to see us tap the 0.618. So the 50% is your maximum target. If this is a 1, 2, 3, okay, maximum target needs to be your 50% fib level, and then you need to find upwards momentum. We've already tapped the 0.382, which is also a fourth wave, but your maximum target needs to be 21 cents. Okay. Right. It's difficult to analyze a token that's already done magic to the upside. Okay, just want to see from a trend line perspective. It's not pretty from a trend line perspective. I mean, how do you even, okay, there's your trends over there playing your breakouts, but I mean, you just need to be aggressive with profit taking, because it's not guaranteed that you're going to take the high and then you turn around again. You play this breakout, guess what? It didn't take the high. So this is why when you're ranging, you need to be more aggressive with profit taking, because you're not trending, you're ranging. Okay, and remember, 𝗖𝗆𝗆 can be traded on Bluffin and Weeks, links down in the description. Cool, legends. I mean, there's not much for me to analyze inside of here. This is a corrective structures, and corrective structures are very difficult to count from an Elliott wave perspective. So I'm not going to spend 15-20 minutes over here trying to make sense of this structure over here. All I'm saying is there's still a higher probability to take the high at some point. Ideally, you want your maximum target here at 22 cents. Right, to buy up the lows. So I do like these. Let me just take the brushes out. So from a larger time frame perspective, I do like these lows over here. It would be nice to go and sweep that liquidity, tap the 50% fib level, and then find upwards momentum to go and claim the high again. But it already SFP'd this low with this low over here, so it could be building up momentum here without taking the 50% fib level and just go higher. Right? It's just, I don't know. Corrective structures are very complex, and you should have bought over here, because this is where I'm buying AR. This is where we are buying Flux. This is where we are buying ICP. We are buying in anticipation of this third wave to the upside, because I'm telling you guys, third waves and fourth waves are very difficult to trade. Once the pump has happened and the retracement starts, it's very difficult to get in. Okay, and the reason why it's so difficult, because the swings from a percentage perspective is absolutely massive. Okay, if you bought over here, let me show you guys why it becomes difficult. If you look at H bar here, okay, from the high to the low is 21%. Okay, so you basically have a 20% range up and down just inside of this zone. Okay, so you buy the top, you go down 20%, you buy a little bit more, so now you have an average price right here in the middle. Now the problem, 20% swings to the up and to the downside it's massive, especially if you're trading on leverage. Now this is the problem. Okay, once you've created the third wave to the upside and you start consolidating, now look at the swings here. Okay, from the top to the bottom, you're looking at 36, 38%. From the bottom to the top, okay, 45%. So you can see that the more bullish the coin becomes, the more it has pumped to the upside, the more risk you expose yourself to, because the difference between the highs and the lows is now 40% on average. Okay, where at the bottom you had that 20% range that you could play in. So it does become more volatile towards the top, especially if the third wave has already taken place. Okay, and that's why I am looking at AR. This is why I am looking at 𝗖𝗍𝗍. Okay, this is why we're looking at ICP. This is why we're looking at Flux. We're looking at the ones that have not done their third waves just as yet. Okay, let me just take the time fib out. So H bar is here. Okay, and you are now trying to find an entry in the fourth wave. Very difficult. For me, it's easier to buy over here. Okay, and I have the benefit of the third wave, and I don't have to worry about getting in here. That's the problem with H bar. You have a problem to get in here, because you don't know how long this correction is going to last. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Right, you should have bought here. I hope it makes sense. Everyone understands. Smash up the like for the education, for the alpha. Right, what else was there? Flux. Okay, Flux. I mean, Flux is an absolute monster. Let's go, Mr. Flux. Flux is still dropping. Is Bitcoin still dropping here to the downside? I just want to check. 1 hour. Ooh, Bitcoin is still falling. It's still falling. It's still falling. Okay, but I can see it from the altcoins are still falling as well, right? That actually looks like a nice trend forming over there. Okay, Flux on the daily. I've already done. I mean, that is a little bit bullish. I will rather just do that. Do this. I think I went crazy on the lock scale. I think that's what I did. I went crazy on the lock scale. So let me just redo this. There's your wave 1, and change this to primary. This needs to be intermediate, or make it minor. Change. Okay, cool, that looks better. But right, here is also flux, same scenario, 1, 2, I'm still waiting for the third wave. So basically this is your zone you want to buy. This is your buy zone. High level, this is your buy zone. I can go and zoom in a little bit into the structure. So I mean, I don't know what Bitcoin needs to do for these scenarios to play out, but I trade the chart in front of me. Okay, so just want to see something. Let's go lock. Yeah, I mean, this has to be the low for Flux. This has to be the low. 39 cents has to be the low, because you did not tap the 0.88. Because if you tap the 0.88 over here, you increase the probabilities of taking the low. You have a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC to the downside. Didn't tap the 0.88. It found support here by the 786. So this is a great load up zone. Okay, from a technical perspective, this is where, you know, for me is the best buying opportunity. Of course, no financial advice. Right, but this low needs to be protected. Okay, because if you're going to take that low and tap the 0.88, then you increase the probabilities of taking the low and invalidating the structure. Okay, so you have a clear invalidation. If you're attempting a trade over here, you know where your invalidation needs to be. Okay, but it just has to be said that a second wave, okay, a second wave can retrace up to 99% of the impulse. If it does not take the low, it could still go and create a third wave, but it's very rare. So you want this to be your wave 2. Okay, I think also from a timing perspective, if I take a time here from, oh no, this is difficult. Where do I take the, let's just take it from there, okay. This low was made between the 1-to-1 and the 0.618, perfectly fine. So, I mean, for me here on Flux, still a great buying zone. This is where you want to accumulate, okay? Because this is where 𝗬𝗆, okay? 𝗬𝗆 is 𝗬𝗆 is here. We're now talking about coins that are still in buy zone so that you can benefit from the third wave here to the upside. Okay. And I mean, these, I just have to stress the targets that I have over here. Okay, $7, $14 is my conservative targets. Wait, no, that's my most bullish targets. That's my most bullish targets. Okay, because that's on the lock scale. As soon as you go back to the regular scale and I zoom in, then the targets are a little bit smaller. Okay, then your 1.618 is at $2.8 and your 2 is at $3.3. To me, that's a more conservative, more guaranteed targets. So even I've noticed when I show people these targets, okay, that we could potentially have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. People are like, you're absolutely insane. How on earth is the token going to hit $2.8? I'm telling you guys now that this is my conservative targets, because it can go up until the 4.618 over here, $7. Definitely a possibility. Okay, did actually someone research 𝗖𝗇? I did research on 𝗖𝗇, however you want to say it. I heard some bad things about it. Oh, okay. I haven't heard anything bad yet, just about it. Okay, 𝗖𝗇 and link. Let's do 𝗖𝗇. I don't even know how to pronounce it. 𝗖𝗇 AI. Let's just call it 𝗖𝗇 AI. Here we go. I was in a swing trade on 𝗖𝗇 AI and I got stopped out. Okay, there was my stop loss, got stopped out. That's the only swing trade that I got stopped out just before I went away over Christmas. But what can I say? It has still formed a nice little higher low. Okay, it has a bullish structure to the upside. It has formed a higher low. It is still, you know, grinding here against the upwards momentum trend. So for me, this is still an accumulation zone. The low needs to be protected because that's a clear invalidation for me. I do still have my spot bags. I only got stopped out of my swing trade. That's where I got stopped out. Okay, very frustrating actually, because as you guys can see, you know, and this is worst case scenario that I expect on AR as well. As you guys can see over here, okay, my invalidation was below the low. I even gave it a little bit of room to breathe. What did it do? It stopped me out, and now it found upwards momentum. Very frustrating. It's the game of trading. Worst case scenario on AR as well. Okay, worst case scenario that I see on AR is what if it stops me out of my damn trade, my swing trade? It stops me out, and then it does the same thing and it continues to the upside. But I'm telling you now, I'm going to be very interested. But I will take the knock on the chin. I will be stopped out. I'm not going to move my stop loss because it's my plan. Okay, I will re-enter if I see the price action that I like over here, like what happened to Layer AI. If I see this, where it dips below, it gets acceptance back above, that is a great entry, because now you have a nice little tight stop loss, and you could already protect your position, which means that if you entered over here when we got the acceptance back above the lows, you can now have a free trade to the upside. If you get stopped out, you get stopped out with no money. So sometimes it's not really bad to have that scenario, even on AR, because then you can have a free trade to the upside that's protected. You win some, you lose some, legends. Always practice good risk management. As definitely. I saw before it's got much worse, crash and lost $1,000. Would have lost much more. Okay. Legends, please smash up the like. I appreciate every single one of you being here. Remember, down in the description, I've got Bluffin. The more you trade, the more money gets airdropped into your account. They've got that $200,000 competition running at the moment. Click on the link, go register for the competition. Just trade as normal, and you know, maybe you win some cash and it gets airdropped into your account. Also, weeks low trading fees only by using the link down in the description. And right, legends, I am unfortunately run out of time. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. I will see you guys again. Until the next one, cheers for now.